I guess we're live, huh?
Yeah, we're live.
Look, I see that catfish and crappie guy in there, and then I see Maurice Case, and I like Maurice Case better than that other guy. Much
Hmm.
better. Where is everybody? Speak up. Show yourselves, people. Somebody talked Jody into coming on live. She talked
Hmm.
me into coming on live. So
Yeah.
let's get this party started. Let's see what's going on here. All right, good. My other window isn't making noise, so we're not going to get echo and feedback. We're good. I see 6 waiting in here. I'll give you a thumbs up while I got the screen open. So how are you feeling, Jody?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little tired, but you know, I'm I'm feeling great. Can't complain.
Look at that. Mark Anthony's in the house. What's going on, Mark Anthony? How you doing? I'm tired too. I had the tournament today with Brian B on there and Freddie, and then Chad wore me out.
Yeah. And you
He'll
stayed up
do.
to 4 this morning.
Shh! Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Went out to dinner. I had some sushi, which Ryan Bortz calls bait. Can you believe that?
Really?
I posted a picture from dinner, right, of what I had, and it was delicious. And Ryan comments, "I don't eat bait. Sorry." And then I look, and he posted what he had for dinner. I think he went out for some Mexican food because I saw tortilla chips on the table. And you know what? I'm such a nice guy. I did make a snooty comment about it. I should have,
Yeah.
but I didn't. So if Ryan hears this after the fact, Ryan, you're mean. You're mean as Chad. We got Steve Adams in the house. What's going on, Steve? I see Van out there. Stop me if I'm taking over. I'm trying to
Oh, you're
help here.
fine. This has. I knew it.
What's up? Yeah, she talked me into it. Nobody else was answering. Nobody was even looking at her message. So
No.
we're going to post that link out here and chat in a minute. So if you guys want to come up, we'll get you up here. But my voice is about shot. I got to save it for Monday's show. What are you doing tomorrow, Jody? You doing any fishing?
If I gotta check my weather, as long as the weather's good, I'm going fishing.
All right, good for you.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get up there and fish with Lance tomorrow night. I didn't even have a chance. I was going to run out to the bait shop today. I need to get some wide gap walleye hooks for burbot. They seem to work best for me. And I didn't even have time to get my gear set up. And tomorrow morning, I got a bunch of stuff I got to take care of. I'd like to go visit my dad, so we'll try to get over there. So we'll see. I don't even have bait. I was just going to get a bunch of shiners, and those will work for burbot. But
Yeah.
it's a two and a half hour ride up there, and you know what that's like. 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back. That's 5 hours right there.
Yeah.
Spend 3 hours fishing there, whole day shot. I got to get work done. I got my members show on Monday morning. I can't oversleep for that. I did that twice actually, and I'm very ashamed of it. They were calling me Stan.
Oh, was I?
There's Van. What's going on? Van, you're not in your truck.
Nope.
Day off? I thought you're always working.
I thought I was too, but nope.
I see take down catfish in the house. I see real and virtual outdoors. I'm thinking real and virtual outdoors plays fishing games
No.
online as well as regular fishing. He had messaged me a while. Oh, look at that. I see orange.
Mm-hmm. That's some nice job.
They almost got confiscated.
Well, don't be doing illegal stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not by that. Mama tried to claim them.
Really?
Well, hey, Steve, what's going on, bud? How you doing?
Steve.
I'm full of questions tonight.
Uh-oh.
Jody will be happy to answer them for you because I'm tired.
Mark's just getting me rolling.
All right. I want me a fishing pole and a reel that I can use from the bank. That I can cast at least 130, 140 yards, 8-ounce weights, at least 8-ounce weights. Something like what Big Mike uses.
Yeah, you're gonna need a long one.
So I need some names of rods and reels. and to write down to be looking.
And this is for catfishing, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course. I would recommend. I would right off the bat, if you're looking for a regular length rod, of course, I'd recommend Uncle Lou's. But since you're not,
I need
there's
a
other.
long rod.
You need a long one. I know Big Cat Fever's got some 10-footers. I know that Slime Cat's got even longer than that.
12.
They got 12-footers now.
That's what Big Mike's got. 12-foot slime
12-footers.
cats.
Yeah. If you can
Heavy
sling
action.
one like that, and then as far as the reels go, that I don't know. Do you want a bait caster or do you want a spinner? What do you want?
Mate. I want a casting reel.
How much you want to you want to stay budget friendly or do you want to spend some money?
$100.
Okuma Cold Waters, the Penn Squalls, you can probably pick one up for about 110. I got some 15 series for about.
But wait a minute. On those squalls, are they not made in Pennsylvania anymore? Are they?
I don't believe so. I couldn't tell you that. Take a look. If you do some research, you might, but they're like the lower end ones that you can still get. I mean, you can go with like an Abu 7000, but that's going to be some money just because you need the line capacity if you want to cast it out that far.
Yeah, I got to have the line. I got a ton of PN 309s, but I don't think they'll throw that far.
Okay.
Now, if I took the level line off, they might.
Well, see, I think that's why the people that do the real far casts, like, well, I don't know, man. World record guys are throwing. They're using Abus, but that's money again. The guys that are doing the distant casting, they're using that, but they're hot rodding them out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of Daiwas on the market. What are the Daiwas that Mike uses? I forget the name of them.
You ran through them so fast. See, I'm trying to write this down.
Oh, yeah, that's how I think. I'm sorry. I
You said a
apologize.
pin squall. That's the first one I got written
You
down.
might want to look into those. I got a couple 15s that cast all right. They overrun pretty quick, so that just tells me that they're pretty fast as far as the spool turns. Yeah, that's pretty decent, budget-friendly reel. The Okuma's got some. How long they're going to last? I know some guys who love their Okumas. The classics, the CLXs. They really like those with the cold water.
I've been looking at those.
Yeah, they're a little on the cheaper end, but I also know a bunch of guys who have them that after a while they start making noise. If you're ripping 130-yard casts with 8 ounces of lead,
I'll never be able to throw that far. But
yeah,
what action on the rods?
You're using circle hooks.
Unfortunately, yes.
You're going to want to. You have to, and you're using mono, correct?
Right.
All right, you got to remember with that. If you've ever seen a Catfish Dave video, you see how when he's fishing the bank, he actually has to run back.
Mm-hmm.
He does that to take the stretch out of the mono. So if you're using this rod specifically for long casts, right, and you're using mono, the rod shouldn't matter that much for setting a circle hook. It's going to be all on you running that rod and reel back to get it to set.
And running that little weight. The only reason Mike's got heavy actions is because he's slinging 2 pounds, a pound of bait and a pound of lead.
Well, look, I'm fishing the Mississippi River, so what do you think I'm throwing?
You're going to need more than 8 ounces of lead if it's anything like the part of the Mississippi I was on.
I'd go with the heavy action.
Heavy action. Well,
And you're gonna have to go with a better reel because I'm thinking those Okumas will rip apart throwing 10 ounces, 12 ounces of lead, and that's probably at a minimum.
Yeah, because you got to figure you're throwing 10 ounces of lead and at least another 10 to 12 ounces of bait.
Well, I'm not the one that. Look, I've been fishing that river for a lot of years, more years than. Then I care about talking about, but I'm not a big proponent of the donkey baits that they call.
Yeah.
Elephants, peanuts eat elephants.
I'll use
or elephants eat peanuts.
Yeah, elephants eat peanuts. Now I understand the small fish and this, and that, and the other, but I'm more of a medium sized bait. Uh, and plus now I'm gonna be using these slide rigs that Lance McCoo guy brought us
Now I forgot you use those.
Yeah,
brought
if you're gonna, are you gonna be able to slide them out 130 yards? That's something to ask Lance.
those things were in current, those things work like a dream, man.
As long as you got the line tight.
Yeah, and you get it in current, the colonel carry it back.
Yeah, yeah, and plus I'm gonna be using a lot of bullheads and bluegill live bait. See, and so I'm not worried about throwing that big heavy bait out there because even if I'm using the skipjacks, I'm still gonna be sliding it out on that rig.
Yeah, that you're not gonna risk slinging that bait off of there if you use those.
No, I should have said that up front, I guess.
Yeah, you could probably go with a medium heavy. If all you're doing slinging 8 to 12 ounces just of lead, yeah, you should be able to go with a medium heavy.
Well, I've also said on these lives before that I'm not one that tries to throw my bait out there and hold it. I want that bait, I want that weight to roll down that river till it finds a ledge,
right,
or structure, and that's when I want it to stop. I'm not trying to throw it out there and hold it in one spot. I want it to move to where the catfish are going to be, and it will do that. I mean, I figured that part out from the bank,
Mm-hmm.
But I need something I can cast further. I know what I need. I just asking, what is it?
Yeah, that makes sense. You've been fishing that big river for so long. You know better than me. I got a good idea on gear, and I'm just kind of thinking through all.
Well, that's the reason I came up here and asked the question, and that's the reason I'm writing it down.
You know who you might want to ask? You might want to ask Tim. He'd probably have a better idea. He knows. He uses a little bigger gear than I do. I have no need for it up here. I do have some 10-foot poles that I run those pens on. It's because I need to cast a little farther when I'm at the power plant lakes, which I seldom at. I should probably sell that stuff, but I kind of, once I get gear, I don't like selling it because I know I'm not going to get another set of it back, or I'm going to need it someday and not have it, and that bothers me more than anything, to be honest.
Tim, fishes from a boat, and that boat fishing and bank fishing that's just like two different.
That's two different animals.
That's two different animals, completely two different animals. And I'm not going back on the boat. I've got a nice boat sitting out here on my carport. I mean, it's ready to go. All I got to do is put it in the water. But I'm not going back in the water. I'm going to be on the bank. So I got to get me some equipment to make up for that boat not leaving the carport. And, these 7-foot ugly sticks ain't getting it.
Yeah, what I've got is I've got two 11-foot. I got two 11-foot pin surf rods, a Pin Prevail, and a Pin Prevail 2.
Well, now you got casting reels on them or spinning reels?
Casting reels.
Casting reels. And what did you say, 11-foot what now?
That's what I use on the bank. I've got two of those.
Pin?
No, I've got Abus on mine.
No, you said 11-foot pin rods?
Yeah, Pin Prevail.
Prevail?
Yep, PRE.
I know how to spell Prevail.
Well, I'll make sure I'm spelling it right.
Oh, it may not be spelled like the real Prevail, huh?
Yeah, it's PREVAIL.
Right.
The reason why I brought up Epic is not because he's a boat fisherman or anything, but he's used to dealing with heavy current and stuff, and what kind of gear you're going to need to keep your bait down there. Everything from the line, he's going to be able to recommend the length of pole when you're using that kind of weight, and so on. And he definitely is a firm believer in casting out and letting your weight find that structure down at the bottom. I've heard him talk about that in the past.
Yeah, well,
So he would have a good idea. I know he runs a lot of stuff. If you're needing to cast real far, a lot of guys will run stuff without a level wind on it. I don't know if you want to use your thumb when you're reeling it in to wind that line back up on the spool. There's all sorts
I've
of.
done that with the 309s before. I've taken the pawl out and use my thumb. It's not that big a deal.
There you go. Well, then you don't have then it should be all right. But those reels will cost you some money. You're talking about like the higher end Daiwas or the Averett reels, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of them get crazy expensive. If you're talking surf gear, you're talking ocean gear that isn't. Most of that stuff is spinning reels they use on the banks when they're casting out, aren't they? Just because some of those pens got big time drag on them, and they're pretty much hoisting sharks out. At least from what I can tell, I have zero experience in any of that.
Well, the 309s are winches. I'm telling you now.
Yeah,
They're good reels for what we do, but from boat, that's what I use. That's all I've ever used in the boat with pen 309s. I got a passel of them. I used to work on them, but I don't fool with them anymore. As far as working on them, I just put them in a box when they don't work right. But yeah, I may try me a pole to start with and put one of those 309s on and see just how far I can throw. Maybe take the level wine off of it and just try it and see.
you can always do that.
Yeah, because if I can, yeah, that's a thought.
I think I'm gonna run through chat real quick.
Good idea. I was just thinking about
it. Got off. I'm sorry.
That's
Man,
okay.
That's all right.
We got Sunny Cat, Napper Parker,
What's up,
Color
Sonny?
Color Bird Chad, Take Down Catfish and Kenneth, Steve Lock 760, Jeremy's Kitty Cats. We've got Carolina Real Screamers, Andy A, Fishing with JBT, Don R, which is Don Robinson, Carolina Real Screamers, said them already once, 3B Fishing,
Blanche,
Setting Hooks and Crossing Eyes.
Uncle Lou.
Sup, Ryan? Sup, Uncle Lou?
Then you got Chris Everett.
I saw Haz in here causing trouble. They were making fun of my peanuts eating elephants comment. Hey, man, Uncle Lou.
Andy A.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina Real Screamers.
Hey, is
Polar
Carolina?
Bear.
I got Jarrell in the house. What's up, JBT?
Mm-hmm.
Take Down.
Carolina Real Screamers. Is that the husband and wife that were fishing?
Yeah, they're both in here.
Fishing with Big Mike.
Right where Laura the Chlora fishes. And she
Yeah.
would say that's them out there in the boat.
Yeah.
Is that
Pork chop.
is that them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lance the two guy, he's supposed to come back and he said he had a real good story to tell. He had to go change clothes. He's soaking wet. So we'll see what it is.
Okay.
Bob. Brandon's Outdoor Adventures. Real and Virtual Outdoors. And Northwoods Peachtree. And I believe that's Rob Fox.
Yeah.
I believe that's about it.
Did you say you saw Big Mike in here?
Yes.
Big Mike, get in here and answer this man some questions, bud.
Yeah.
He's the one that uses that big gear and that long gear and those heavy weights and big current. And Betty's in the house. What's up, sister Betty? She's on the road. Be careful. Remember, precious cargo.
Yeah, be careful out on the road.
She's driving
The
through the
weather we've
mountains,
had the
too, if
last
I'm
few
not
days has been
mistaken.
And you got Joe Ziegler just come in. And Eugene Brooks.
Well, I think that's what I'll do.
Robinson mentioned a girls' tournament in North Dakota. Jeremy's tournament cat.
I watched Lance fishing. That man, it was cold. I sit up here. I had to put a jacket on just watching it.
Yeah, he's a little further north than me, but I think we're running the same temp. So, see, Hess says he's going to pop up after he feeds the baby.
Which one? Him or the one he's holding?
It's going to feed him some peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike does that. What you're talking about, Steve? Throws it out there and then lets it hang in the rocks. That's the reason he loses.
I do that where we fish a lot of bank spots too. We'll fish a couple of sections where there's choke points, and those choke points only hold up because they put a lot of rubble and debris and boulders down there. So if you let your weight, kind of bounce along the bottom until you find something, you usually do a lot better.
Yeah, we somebody who's echo.
It's you.
Well, I got everything dead but StreamYard.
That could be me. I could have the volume up too.
I don't know. My access to the bank down here is I've got 5 or 6 places that I've located, but the good fish lay these points that stick off the bank, a point that and that current seam that runs out. Well, they build up sand behind them, and the river's covered with the revetment, that big old gray. I don't know what kind of rock it is. They mine it up north somewhere. It's covered with it. Well, I can't walk on that stuff, and nobody can really. They do, but it's dangerous. But behind it is sand. The rock's got a lot of sand on it, so there's about half of the rock sticking out. You can kind of get your way down. But my problem is when I get down there behind that point, I'm looking out there at the point. I can't get my lead out there in that current seam. I need to be able to cast out in that current seam where my line goes down the river, sinks, and it's out there in that current seam. And then I can put my bait on and run it out there, and it'll be in the current seam just like where I would be fishing it in a boat. So that's where I am with this deal. I'm sure if y'all fish any rivers, you know what these points look like. They stick off the bank and cause that, the current seam to go out.
Causes the seam, and you got all the
and it cuts a trench down there in the ground, where that current runs, and the fish lay along that seam, and that's where the bait comes through to them. They don't have to chase it. Yeah. But I can't get to them. If I could walk on those gray rocks, I could walk out there and throw out and be, just like fishing in a boat. But I ain't. That stuff will kill you.
If you can't get the bait out to where the fish are, you're not going to catch them.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some tricks around there, but not for big fish. I mean, I got a couple of spots here where I can use the current to my advantage just to carry scent down into where I think they are. And after I wait a while, they'll start hitting, and I'll know that it works because once they start hitting, it's usually one after another, and I can repeat this time after time again. So, but other than that, it's usually not the big ones that come in. It's usually the little opportunistic fish that come after that kind of stuff.
Well, I got to do something different because I ain't doing no good doing what I'm doing.
Mark, I appreciate you coming on and helping me. Even when you get ready, just jump on off.
We're gonna let Haz come up here. He's feeding that baby, and then he'll come up here. I ain't gonna leave you hanging.
Mark went to Holland. He was first. I was sitting here when he hit the like button. And then Maurice hollered, "I'm second." Yeah. I was sitting there watching him. I said, he's first. Oh, man.
Sonny says, walking on them rocks can be a workout, and I usually fall on my backside. Yeah, or roll an ankle or something like that. At my age, man, I'm done with that stuff. You see the young guys in some of these videos, they're running across that stuff.
Oh, man. I watch Parker Pursuit.
Yeah,
he walks out there on that rock dike. Man, if I got out there, they'd have to come get me and something, just leave me out there and let me die and dry up and float away because I couldn't walk back in.
You know what Jerry does for a living probably is akin to that, so that helps him out. He's on a lot of small areas, very high up in the air, so he's probably pretty nimble just from doing that all day, every day. So
he better be, because them rocks, woo, man. But I noticed I asked him one time in one of his live feeds. I've caught a lot of fish on the backside of those rock dikes. I mean, on the upside of those rock dikes, back towards the bank, not out on the tip, but back towards the bank, where that water stacks up and then moves down to the tip. to go around it. I've caught a lot of good fish from a boat anchored and thrown to the base of that dike. Uh, but he said he always fishes off the tip of it.
Any place that's gonna stop bait, whether it's live or dead, it's gonna treat it like conveyor belts.
Yeah.
Even in the winter when I'm ice fishing, if I'm ice fishing and there's a creek, I'm treating it just like that. If I'm fishing for catfish, they're gonna be out there at the closest flat at the end of there, and you go out there and wait them out, and they're waiting for food to come washing in there. It's less, the least amount of effort for the biggest amount of return for them. Like everybody keeps saying, they got small little tiny brains, so they're just in survival mode.
Yeah,
it makes sense. It doesn't always work out that way, but it hires your percentage of success. There's Haz.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
I love your profile picture.
I was using that last night. He told me to take it off. He was getting upset.
I knew Jody would love it. Yeah, I'm in my I'm not in the office right now, so I don't have the camera.
Oh, okay.
But what's up, everybody?
Nothing.
I was trying to explain to Brian B last night what was going on with me down here and all the hours I've spent without catching a fish. The river.
We're all not catching a fish now.
Huh?
We're all not catching them. We're all having a dry spell.
I'm catching them, but I might as well not be catching them.
Y'all just
With
don't
all
know
these
how many
things
hours
I've
I've put in the last 2 weeks.
I believe it.
You just don't know.
Mm-hmm. I never caught a fish that small till I went on Haz's show last night, John Orr. And I caught 2 tiny channels, and I've never caught one like that before.
But the river down here is full of corn and soybeans. Where they load these barges all up and down the river.
Yeah.
From the harvest.
Yeah, you're coming the water.
I mean, where I was day before yesterday, or was it yesterday? One day, it was either yesterday or the day before. I was just sitting there looking, and I was thinking about what is the elevator right up there where they were loading beans. It looked like beans because it's so dusty. And I said, I bet you this river is full of corn, because I've seen it floating before, in years past. And I got down there and walked the bank, and hell, there was corn everywhere down there. I mean, it was 10 pieces of corn, 10 cones of corn floating along.
I know.
Doing that, washing back and forth along the edge of the river. So, and there's elevators probably all the way to, I don't know, as far up there as you can go.
Steve, what are you using right now as rods?
Well, I got 2 7-foot ugly stick tigers that that's what I used in the boat, and I got 2 Daiwa rods that they're long, but they old rods that I bought them for the reels on eBay. Oh gosh, when I first got on a computer, I don't know how many years ago that was. I never used the rods until I got into this YouTube stuff. They've been rods.
Those the ugly stick tiger, those are good rods.
Oh, they're good, but they're not good for casting off the bank.
Yeah, you're what you need is to go and get you some 10-foot or even 12-foot rods that are ready to throw. What are you normally throwing when you're out there fishing?
I weigh 6 ounces is the most.
6 ounces? Okay.
But now if I had a rod I could throw out to the real current, I'd throw 8 or 10 ounces.
Okay. So then I would suggest Mad Cat's 2-piece 10-foot rods. Heavy action. You can throw up to, I think, like 12 or even 16 ounces of lead. No problem with those. Yeah. You'll be able to sling your bait way out there. The Whisker Seeker, they're light. So you wouldn't, even the heavy action Whisker Seekers they feel more like a medium action rod almost. So you won't be able to cast as much.
Okay.
But I like those Mad Cats.
I won't write that down.
Yeah, look at Mad Cats. Mad Cats makes good rods.
Okay. I'll do that.
Because I think that's more important than the reel that you're using is going to be the rod you're using.
I hope so.
That you can get out there. Yeah.
I hope it is, because I want to try these 309s on a long rod.
Yeah.
And take the level wind off of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Level wind slows your casting distance down too as
No
well.
doubt
And
about
you also burn through them worm gears. That's what I did on mine at with Garcia.
I keep greasing oil on mine. I oil them every day. I figured that out long years ago.
Yeah.
Let's see. We had Tinkerbell come in, and then local fishing local 252, and Lisa Fishing Chick.
What's going on, Lance? How you doing, Lisa?
What's up, Lance?
Nothing much, man.
How'd you do today, Lance?
Got 1 4-pound burbot.
There you go. I saw.
Yeah, it was a good fishing trip. It got down to 28 degrees.
I watched it.
Felt like 19.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the fishing trip, getting everything packed up, go to get that burbot, made the mistake, put him on a stringer. He wrapped himself around the ladder.
That happens.
Yeah, so, I'm from Hawaii. Why not climb down the ladder into some freaking cold water?
Oh, man.
Oh,
well, I tried everything to get that fish.
You won't get it out, not in that lake. I lost a 19-pound king like doing that same thing. I will never do that again.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah, bleed them out, put them in a cooler.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we tried everything. I climbed down there. My back, my feet, they were in the water.
Oh, man.
You lose the fish?
Huh?
You lose the fish?
Oh, yeah. He tangled up at the bottom of that ladder. Never again will I put a fish on a stringer in Lake Michigan.
Yeah, Steve, it's not the fish that gets tied up. It's the actual waves and the swells that wash it and wrap it around those ladders. It happens all the time.
Dang.
But I mean, I did everything I could to try and get them back, but after my hands went numb, I could feel my grip just letting loose. I said, "Yep, I'm done."
Done. Yep.
Hi, Alvin.
So yeah, it was still fun though. We had fun. We was live.
It didn't look like fun when you was out there fishing.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, we're prepared for the cold. We carry a 20-pound tank, propane tank with us with a heater.
I saw
do it.
Gotcha.
Once you get wet or your hands or feet get cold, though, it's hard to get them warmed back up. Unless you duck out into your car or something and sit in there for a good half hour or something. It's rough. At least for me, it is.
I mean, that was the good thing. It was at the end of the trip, so my buddy had his vehicle running. So as soon as I got out the water, straight to the vehicle I went.
There you go.
And warmed up on the ride home. Jumped in a hot shower as soon as I got here. Lesson learned.
I got me a heated vest. Got a big battery pack with it.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is nice.
Oh yeah, I bet.
It heats all up around your neck, man, your back here. Oh boy.
But I can say, being in that water, my insulated bibs I had from Tractor Supply, that actually kept me warm. Even while I was in the water, just my feet was nice and cold.
Yeah.
Well, I hate you lost your fish.
Yeah, I do too. But I wasn't gonna risk it no more.
I wanted it.
Yeah.
You know,
did
once
a lot
I
more
felt
than I
my
would have
grip,
did. I ain't going in that water.
Yeah.
To go.
Has I heard you say something tonight about your bumping that you don't have enough current?
Yeah, nah, we don't have current on the
You
Potomac.
know, these guys in the Mississippi that's doing the bumping, they bump out the back of the boat.
Mhm.
Oh, and you got spot lock.
Yeah.
Have you
Well,
seen?
they're not using spot lock. They're actually cutting the speed of the river in half with their trolling motor. So they're not staying in one spot. They're
Yeah,
actually
but they still they got the spot lock trolling motors, most of them,
mhm.
for when they go anchor fish. But they don't have to. They know they're not on spot lock, but they're holding against that current,
Mhm.
and they're fishing out the back of the boat, drifting
Yeah.
down real slow, and they throw out and they feel the bottom, and then they just pick it up as they drift back down the river. That's how these boys in the Mississippi
Yeah.
I had a friend that's supposed to take me to the dam and teach me how to bump anchored up.
anchored up.
Yeah, he said you just let your line out and go with the current, and you feel it go down, and you pick it up and get a little more line.
Oh
That's
yeah,
basically
yeah.
the same idea.
But he's bumping from anchor.
Yeah, we'll be anchored
He
up.
reels it back up and throws in a different spot. Yeah, I've done that a lot. But these guys are actually drifting, but they're going backwards.
Mm.
I'm assuming that's how Creole does it.
If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, the idea
Yeah.
is fish always have their heads into the current.
Right.
When you're bumping down current into the current, you're presenting that bait right in front of them. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to hit them in the face with the bait. And that's the best way to do it. So you're covering a lot of area, a lot of ground. They're not having to chase this stuff down, which is why it's so much fun.
Yeah. See, and like with us not having the current, the bump, like in the kayak, I'll just suspend drift. I'll have my full rods, hanging off the side of the kayak, and I'm just lowering and raising my baits with the water depths and just drifting with the current downriver at like
Right.
0.4, 0.5 miles an hour. So it's the same type of concept, but you're not literally bumping off the bottom. My baits are
Right.
probably like 2 feet, 3 feet off, but you're taking your baits to them. That's the thing. You're moving to get
and
action.
you're cutting the speed of the current down in half by doing it that way too. So
Yeah, cutting
you're
it in
having
half,
more. You're
exactly.
presenting your bait for a longer period of time in front of the fish,
Yeah.
which is why
You
it's so
jug
productive.
fishing with a kayak.
Yeah, bumping out a kayak would be pretty challenging because, like you said, you have to do it off the back, and you probably have to stand for it to turn around in your chair to do it. It wouldn't be that easy. But yeah, we don't have the current.
Where is your trolling motor on? It's on the back, isn't it?
Nah, it's up towards the front. It's
it's up toward the front.
Yeah. Yep. It's up towards the front. So when I spot lock and current, I'm facing up, nose up, just like a boat.
Mhm.
I got you.
Just like a boat. And then that's why you see me casting all the time off the back, doing
Flipping it
that back
backwards over your
cast.
shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you can't put your trolling motor on the back of the.
No,
kayak?
and even if I did, it wouldn't work. My kayak, it has a built-in spot, towards the front where it's all it comes factory made for the kayak, trolling motor.
Yours up down right up in front between your feet, don't it?
It's actually further up, it goes
In the
up there,
center,
but it's a
right? Yeah,
lot of
right in the
space.
middle.
Yeah, right in the middle. There's probably like where my trolling motor is, then there's probably like 2 feet to the nose of the kayak, but it's 13.5 foot long kayak. It's a big kayak.
I say yours is one of them that you could actually put either the electric trolling motor or the pedal on it, isn't it?
No pedal. It doesn't have interchangeable.
Okay. I know there's
I can
one that
only
I
do
was
that.
looking at a while back, and you could actually get either one.
Yeah. They do have a pedal drive of my version, but it's not the same. It doesn't like interchange where you can fit either the trolling motor or the pedal drive.
Hey, Dale Hayslip, and JBT has something up here. He's wanting to know about bumping too. So he wants to try bumping. Wants to know if it's effective in winter. He knows nothing about it.
He's
I'm
in
gonna share-
Texas. That's a whole different animal
Is
down
it?
there. Yeah, I don't know what the coldest his water temperatures get down there, but the other night he was fishing live and he said it was like midnight and it was still 75 degrees outside. Water temp is 48 degrees. That might be a little warm. I've heard 50 degrees is the magic number. I could be
Where's
wrong.
JBT?
I'm gonna share Muskrat and Mike Greenwell, and he might be able to watch it and learn something.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's 2 channels you need to subscribe to and watch them, and you'll learn to bump.
Hagen Grubbs does some bumping videos, how to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Yeah. Hagen bumps down there by me, down off in Louisville on the Falls of the Ohio. Right there where they let the hydros out.
And Steve, I wanted to also say that, Big Mike was on Catfish Weekly not too long ago, and he was showing off his gear on there. You might want to go check out, look up. Oh, yeah, that would be a good show for you to check out too, to help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of you newer channels, a lot of times we focus on the growth of the younger channel. We forget about the older ones. But the older ones is where we've learned to do this stuff. They set up all the tournaments. They're what we follow and go by. So we don't need to forget to subscribe to them also, like Mark up here, and Lyle, and Chad. And
Did she just call Mark old?
No, the older channels.
I have no problem with that. That just means experienced.
Exactly. And that's where you need to go to learn this
mentor.
And they have a wealth of videos. I mean, you ask them questions, they'll help you, but you really need to subscribe to the older channels also, not just the newer ones.
I'm subscribed to so many, my computer sounds like a bell ringing when everybody gets to doing stuff.
Yeah, I had to turn off some of my notifications on my phone. I got so many.
I can't stand it.
I got in the habit of checking everything manually as soon as I sit down to my desk here and see what's going on. Other than that, if somebody needs to get a hold of me, they know how to get a hold of me.
Well, I love to watch bushcraft on the computer.
Oh, Betty actually took, dangerous time out of her driving to say that I am old. I'm going to send her some emojis.
Saying that one. I was going to be nice and retract what I said and say that you have just aged well.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Yeah, Mark is an old guy.
He is not.
Yeah, I doubt if he's that much older than I am.
I'm old enough to know better.
Mark, you're still young enough to not care.
I got a few years left in me.
Yeah.
A few good years left.
As long as I can still get a line wet, I'm a happy man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got 6 grandkids that make me feel old the whole time.
There you go.
I ain't got that many. I'm twice as old as you are.
No, I've got the 6th one will be here in January. I've got 5 that wear me out.
Well, I just got 5, and I don't think there's gonna be no more.
Oh no, my bunch ain't stopped.
You guys are complaining. Has got 7 babies in the house.
Exactly.
That's how many my daughter wants.
Hey, we after 10 o'clock, aren't
we? Yeah, it's 1 o'clock.
They I made this mention one night about Has, I think it was Has, about the remark that Groucho Marx made on his show one night. Some of y'all remember Groucho Marx. But nobody, I didn't say anything because it was a time of day that you shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff. But Groucho had a man on his show one time. It got him kicked off of TV. The TV went black. Groucho had the guy, Groucho Marx smoked a cigar and had the real black eyelashes, whatever it is. Eyebrows, and had the chicken up there on the string and all that, and he was pumping that cigar, and he's interviewing this fella, and he asked him who he was, and he told him.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I'll call the guy Jim. I don't remember what his name was. And he said, well, Jim, you got a family? He said, yeah, I got 10 kids, 10 children. And Groucho pumped that cigar and went to smoke and he put it back. He said, "Look, Jim," he said, "I like my cigar, but I put it down there once in a while." No, he said, "I take it out every once in a while." That's what. And he laid that cigar on the cash register on the ashtray over there, and boom! Hey, that was back in the early '60s, and they got Groucho, and he never did come back. He never came back on television. He was a funny guy. But I like my cigar, but I take it out every once in a while.
That reminds me, I meant to pick up a cigar on the way home from dinner tonight. That didn't work out, I guess. Forgot all about it.
Well, I hope I don't ever smoke another one.
It's been a while since I had one of those.
Twice a year, once in the summer and then once for my birthday usually. That's about it.
As you didn't smoke a cigar when you had your last
That's what I
baby?
said. I should have smoked one recently at the birth of my new child, but nah, I
That's
didn't.
what I mean. Yeah. Well, are you gonna have some more?
Nah, that's it. That's it for
That's
me.
it. Huh?
Yeah, we tapped out.
Tap that.
Has?
Yeah. That's it.
See, the rubber bands will do the same thing. That's why we used to do them old bulls and hogs.
Yeah.
And then eventually they fall out. You know, my cat,
Did you see another channel?
Jody,
Yes. What?
have you noticed that my cat has disowned me?
I've been wondering where Lucky was at. I haven't seen her or him. Is it a girl or boy?
He's a boy. Well, he was a boy.
He
Yeah.
was a boy.
He's sitting over here in the doorway. We got another cat in the house, and she has taken up sleeping on the foot of my bed. Been going on about a week now,
Yeah.
and he cannot stand it. And he's pouting.
Oh, they will.
Oh, he's used to being my partner. But she beats it and runs in there and gets on the bed. She goes in and out. He's inside. We don't let him out.
Maybe he don't approve of who you've been watching on here. That means us, guys.
Oh, he is sitting up here watching.
Or he's tired of talking about fishing all
Yeah.
the time.
I whispered and scrapped.
But
He's like, when you gonna stop talking about catfish and stop talking about cats?
Yeah, let's
Well, it's funny watching my wife's cats. My wife set the Christmas tree up back second week of November, and we got a cat that every year if we put the thing out, it lays on the little blanket underneath the tree. And Sandy just put a bunch of presents underneath of it. Here, and Sandy got done doing it earlier today, and that cat walked in there and looked at all them presents. And Sandy was sitting here on the end of the couch, looked at all them presents and looked up at her and looked back at them presents like, "What's this?
Yeah.
Like, you need to move this." She's been all over them presents trying to find her little hiding spot back here on her little underneath the tree.
Need to move him around where she can get in there and lay down.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, this one here is pouting, man. He's been acting a horse's ass. Well, y'all, I appreciate this information. I got something to work with here now. I'm gonna get me a rod. Is Uncle Lou said I heard him say the first of the year? Is it gonna be that he's gonna come out with longer rods?
He's coming out with some newer rods and some different colors.
But they still gonna be 7.5 foot. I love to buy one from him. I mean,
I haven't heard whether or not that he said for sure that he's making a longer one. The only one I do know that he was coming out with, he's waiting to get, is a bumping rod. Now, anything if he's making a longer one, I don't know.
well, I'm not gonna do anything until because December. At the end of December, that's gonna be all my fishing till next year. Because I got to go metal detecting. It's driving me nuts.
I'm gonna keep on fishing. I'm not gonna stop.
Well, I'm gonna take off and Miller take a few months.
Yeah, this gonna be my last month of fishing for the year too.
Well, it is December.
Yeah,
You guys are going to start again in January?
yeah. Start again in January.
There you go.
There's a
January.
Well, it is December. Looky there.
Yeah.
what's
What's
up,
going
Bacon
on,
Jim?
There's a DFW.
All right,
How's it going,
Jody, I'm
guys?
going to leave you in good hands here. You got a panel full of good guests.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm live streamed out.
Thank you
Yeah, I
for
bet
Go to
Mark
bed,
is
Mark.
getting some rest.
I'll be in
What's
chat for a
going
little
on,
while,
guys?
but
You
I'm
got
going to
that?
get off screen for a little bit. I'm
live streamed out.
Oh, now I'm echoing it. I think Jim's got echo. He's got a
Yeah.
tab going on.
It's
All
you,
right,
Jim.
folks. Have a good night. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for everything.
Later,
Bye.
Mark.
Bye, Mark.
Jim, how you feeling?
Oh, pain meds are kicking in.
Your pain meds are kicking in?
Pain
Yeah.
meds are kicking in.
I thought Steve was going to get up to a dance like John Parker.
I know. It's I've
I
got
better have
I
some pants
had my
on.
surgery yesterday, so I've got two. Haven't got movement yet in 2 fingers, so it's kind of scary right now. But
Yeah.
they said within 48 more hours, so
Well, it's good to see you out and about.
it's easier to come on live and then try and chat with one finger.
It is, because you can't type.
I know exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
how's everybody doing tonight?
I've got my surgery for the 30th. It ain't the surgery I'm dreading; it's the physical therapy after.
Yeah, I've got long physical therapy. I didn't. The first surgery I had back in January, I thought would fix the problem. They attached a tendon to my elbow, but I still had nerve damage. I went back 2 weeks ago and told me it was still hurting, that I was here to collect on the warranty before the warranty ran out. They were like, "We don't get warranties on surgery," but they checked. I had nerve damage. So they went in and released the nerve because it was, I guess, pinched or something.
Yeah.
In your elbow?
In my forearm.
Yeah, see, mine's. I haven't felt them 2 fingers. It's those 2 feel like somebody's hit my funny bone for the last 3 years, and they're gonna go in right there. And
they went in the same place they attached right on my forearm.
And what they're going to do with mine is they found I've got arthritis and scar tissue right here from a fall damage or something. And they're going to clean that channel, and if that don't work, they're going to move the nerve from here and run it on the inside of my arm.
So
I love surgery, man. I love that shot they give you right before they put you to sleep.
well, I didn't get the magic shot this time. I got it on my first surgery, but I didn't get he had to make sure. I mean, I was asleep, but they couldn't deaden the nerve because they needed it alive, because they hooked up some kind of electrical shock to it to figure out which nerve was bad and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mark, glad to. I'm coming back.
Hey, Van.
Yeah.
That little finger right there. It was in 1983. I don't feel anything in that little finger. I can take a pin and stick it, and it'll bleed, and I don't feel it. So I was working for this big company, and I was telling my boss about it. And he used to have to get a physical every year because we're dealing with these ag chemicals with numbers on them. They wasn't even labels, they were numbers. And he said, well, when you're down there this next year for your physical, tell the guy and get him set you up and figure out what's wrong with your finger. And so I did. And they said to me, I had to go back to Jackson, which was 2.5 hours, to a nerve specialist where they hook you up and they shock you and they run all it. They put them.
Yep, been there, done that.
You know what I'm talking about. Well, I went through that whole dadgum test. It took an hour and a half at least. I mean, sometimes they was burning me pretty bad when they shoot that juice through. And you know what they told me when we got through?
Hey, Jacob.
They said it's going to have to get a lot worse before we can figure out what's wrong with it. with you. I said, got to get a lot worse. I said, what does that mean? It's going to have to fall off. Or I'm going to cut it off and not even know it. I'm going to bleed it. But that was 83, 84. And I've been going like that ever since. And they said, it's got to get worse before we can find out what's wrong with it.
Yeah, if it was just the nerve in my hand, that's what they were testing on me when they did that test. Is make it seeing where it started at. And they found it in my elbow, and because what it was is I had a hold of the steering wheel one day, and I went to get out, and I couldn't let go of the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
My hand was locked on the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take my other hand and pull it off, and I found out where I kept my elbow bent, it'd make that nerve swell, and
that's what's happened. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a truck driver, so you're always driving.
Right.
Yeah, and it's my left arm, and so it's the one that rides. I got it on the door holding the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, Jacob. But yeah, I mean, because I first went in back in like January, and after MRI, they found that I had a tendon that was messed up, so they went back and reattached it and thought that would cure my problem. I thought I had nerve damage, but they didn't. I was like, let's do both surgeries at once. And they're like, no, let's do the one. And so then last week I went back, and they were like, or a couple of weeks ago, they're like, yeah, you've got nerve damage. Well, it's pinched or something. We're going to have to go in there and fix it. It's a dangerous surgery. Do you want it done? I was like, yeah. And then after surgery, you know, they were waking me up and they were telling me to move my fingers, and I couldn't move two of them. And I was like, uh-oh.
Mm.
He said, well, I should be able to get movement back within 48 hours. So
when
I kind of got one of them moving right now. But
when the inflammation and stuff goes down, because when it swells up on there,
that's what he was saying. He said that nerve is right next to the one he was working on. He said, so it's probably like in shock right now. So crossing my other fingers, that's what the problem is.
Yeah, the way they're talking about mine is it's supposed to be rather simple. There's not that much to worry about with mine. They said the biggest thing I have to worry about is just making sure I don't rip the cut open.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they said because I can still do everything. So they're not really doing any nerve repairs. It's just moving it from that channel where everybody gets hit and it feels like a funny bone. It's that nerve.
Right.
They're just
carpal tunnel of the elbow.
Basically.
Yeah.
They're going to either clean that channel and put it back in, or they're going to, like I said, move it from that channel and move it around to here, to the inside of my arm, and sew me back up.
Yeah, so the doctor that did my elbow surgery, he didn't really want to mess with the nerve because he gave me to his partner. He's like, I'd rather him do it. He's more better at it because it's such a delicate surgery. So I was like, okay, just as long as it's fixed. So hopefully I guess I'm going to be out of commission for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, they told me 2 weeks.
Mm.
You told me about 3 to 4 weeks. But
That's the reason.
On my elbow, I was out of commission for like 3 months before it got where it wasn't hurting.
Yeah, but he said where I drive and I'm not slinging chains like on a flatbed or anything. I'm just opening doors. He said week to 2 weeks, long enough to hit that cut to start healing. As soon as they see that it's healing properly, then they'll let me go back to driving. But
yeah, I think I go in on the 29th and get my stitches out. So then start therapy again. But I wanted to get it all done while all my insurance, everything was paid up for the year. Because the hospitals charge you out the butt.
Yep.
Just the hospital bill I got on my first surgery, just the hospital alone was $17,000 for a outpatient surgery that lasted. I was there about 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dynamo.
Well, in 2010, I had 2 shoulder surgeries, and the overall cost of everything I had for it, because they ended up sending me the bills that the insurance was even paying. The grand total for the whole thing was, for both surgeries, was $211,000, and I had to pay, I think it was like 15 or 16,000 of it was my parts of it. So,
But yeah, so it's hospitals are. I mean, I can understand it. Everybody that gets sick, that don't have insurance, runs to the hospital to get treatment, never pays the bill. But I mean, that's today's society that we're in. Because you go to
yeah,
your small doctor's office, they want you to pay up front before you even get back there.
well, I see in the state of Kentucky, they got the one. If you don't have a job and don't have anything, they'll cover you. Well, don't pay no co-pays, no nothing. State pays for it. Well, I'm paying for it with my tax money. Then I turn around and I have to have something done. I've got to pay the outrageous prices, so I'm getting paid. I'm having to pay twice.
But I was surprised this hospital went to a different hospital this time than I did in January. And they actually called me on Tuesday and said, "We need you to pay $420 by bringing it in when you have your surgery." I said, "My insurance and everything, co-pays are already paid." I said, "No, that's just 10% of your bill, but we need you to pay that morning." So they collected money before I even got in the back room.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Well, there went my Uncle loophole money for this year."
Well,
Yeah,
that's one good thing about getting old. Dr. Medicare take care of everything.
So,
well, that I don't mind. I mean, y'all, my mom, my dad, he put 21 years. Well, actually, from 71 to 2003. My dad worked in either with the reserves in the army or with the fire department, civil service. So he got him and my mom's insurance is paid for every year. Stuff like that don't bother me. It's the freeloaders that are out here that too lazy to go get a daggone job.
You ought to live in Mississippi. You're talking about freeloader and no insurance on the car.
And they've cracked down pretty hard on that around here.
Well, Mississippi, we tried to, but the tax collectors in the counties are the ones that stopped the legislature from getting the lobby. They stopped the legislature from doing anything about these uninsured motorists.
You're not funny, Jack.
Because if they shut them down and make them like Louisiana does, boy, in Louisiana, you better have insurance in Louisiana, or there's jail sentences down there.
Yeah, that's the way it is here. It's either it's a $300 fine, and your first offense you can get it, and you're on probation for a year. And the second offense is 30 days in jail.
Louisiana, I don't know the exact law down there, but it's serious. But the tax collectors in each county here, we got 82 counties, and they must have a big voice, because they in Mississippi they sell a 6-month insurance policy, liability insurance, 6 months, and it's like $28. And every other corner in my little old town is got a used car lot.
Yeah.
And the car tags here are outrageous. I just bought one for my wife's car. It was over $1,000.
jeez.
Right.
Good grief.
Right. That's right.
You got to register mine this month. It's $25.
Yeah, our car tags are outrageous, and Well, the other taxes okay, but the car tags are terrible. And the county gets all that. They get a big chunk of that money. And so if they crack down on these people buying these used cars, the tag, they're not going to sell any tags, and the tax collectors, what do they call them? Chancery clerk, and that what they are? Is that what they call them in every state, every county? Chancery clerk. They won't sell any car tags, and that county money the counties won't get that money, and so the people that are driving vehicles and buying insurance like they're supposed to are paying for all the wrecks that happen to uninsured motorists. I mean, it's crazy. And I've been hit twice by uninsured motorists. I got a 2013 Tundra sitting out there. Been hit twice, and nothing to do about it. Thank goodness it hadn't gone out over the moon.
So that's bad. So Joe, you fishing tomorrow? Is that what I heard earlier?
If the weather's good, I'm gonna go. If it rains, I won't go. But the weather's, as long as it's not raining, I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go.
I'm gonna go.
Sharky, you're going.
If my friend is available, he's gonna take me to the dam and teach me how to bump, and then we're gonna ride the water all the way down. And then
You'll get no fish for your bank tournament if you fishing off a boat.
That's Tennessee River.
Yeah.
And if not, then I'll put in lower down on the Watts Bar and fish it. But I'll put it in by myself, and then I'll have to unload it by myself, and that water drop. That's the only thing bothering me from going.
You just back your boat further down the ramp.
I'm off the ramp. That's how low the water is.
Oh Lord!
I actually got stuck last night, but fell off the ramp, and I got Jerry to go with me last night. And if he hadn't been with me, I'd been screwed, because he managed to put a tire strap around. You know that thing that you ratchet it with to the trailer? He got that around the boat, the trailer, up to the pontoon, and lifted it up enough where I could pull it out with the truck. But it was like a block wall. He wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah, when you sent me that video, I was going to tell you that is we always keep some kind of like a little load strap, because that trailer don't weigh really that much.
Yeah.
And you've got a big enough pontoon. If you hook it to the back of it, and just get them hooks to catch on something, you could lift it with the boat.
Yeah. It wasn't going nowhere. So we got that done, and then I fished for a little while, and then when I got off with John Oiler, we started heading back. We got landlocked. Yeah.
Oh, that must. You need to go somewhere else.
I know. I mean, it's just the water drop is horrible, and
all of it's coming by me.
So it took about an hour to get clear of that, and so I got off that boat ramp and drove the truck down to another one, and he drove the boat down to it, and we loaded there. But I wasn't in the boat ramp I went to wasn't usable. I had to get off in the gravels on the bank and back down into it.
If you got 4-wheel drive?
Yeah. I have to.
And it wouldn't pull it up off of it.
No, it's dropped completely off.
Wheels catching on the end of the ramp.
Yeah.
It dropped off. I backed it up. I felt it fall. And the other one, the one I'll be using tomorrow, it'll be completely, the water's not even on the ramp on it. I'll have to go all the way off of it.
Well, I don't know what it is with them down there. What is it? Douglas Reservoir, Douglas Lake.
Yeah.
When we went down to South Carolina, we went down 25 from Corbin down through there.
Yeah.
And we went down by Morristown and saw it. And I was like, we're seeing all these signs for the lake and marina and lakeside campground. I'm like,
nope.
Where the heck's the lake? It ain't
And
nothing but a great big mud hole.
when you rent a place, they don't tell you that you can't even use the dock that you're renting.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with it. Why they've got it down so low.
Yeah.
Well, I know y'all are hating this high water. I mean, low water.
Oh, I'm hating it for sure.
But
We
people,
got some rain the last couple of days, a lot of rain, so my lake
And
should
Lads
be
Landing.
getting better.
but
Lads
people,
Landing, it's closed. It was closed last night.
but people,
58 is where I'm getting. Don't go Swan Pond back there. Don't try to use it. You'll get landlocked and you'll fall off the ramp. But 58 Landing, or if you get in the gravels at the steam plant, if they drop it any longer, you'll get landlocked at the steam plant too.
No, the way they're going with that up there, you might as well just drive up to Cumberland.
I know it's what I was telling Kelly. It's only 30 minutes on my way on up there. It's actually closer than where I'm going.
Jody, do you ever fish on the Cumberland River?
Just the one time with Kelly the other day.
Do you know where Cheatham Dam is?
No, not know anything about it.
What's the name of the town? Clarksville?
That's up past Nashville, like Port Campbell, Clarksville.
Okay.
Stearns and
What's the name
Kelly's
of the
around
town
Stearns and Somerset and Burnside.
Yeah.
where Cheatham is on the Cumberland? That's some good fishing there on the Cumberland. I've got some buddies that go up there fishing every one.
Yeah. Striper fish. I hate striper fish. I hate catching them things. But at the cold they live. But in the summer, it takes you like 15, 20 minutes to try to get them to live. Throw them in and out of the water. You're just a burden to me, a striper fish. But I caught one last night on John Order's live, but I was wanting it to be a catfish, but it wasn't. It been a stripe.
Well, I know
But
y'all.
done, but I want a catfish instead.
Well, I know you guys are hating this low water, but I tell you what, people where I live and south of me, we are loving it because we don't need that high water again for 10 years at least.
I need some water, and I won't have any probably till whiskers and stripes. Just send me an email or a message on Facebook, and we might meet up and go fishing.
Jody, you ever watched any of my lives and seen the towboats going up down the river?
Yeah.
Well, in 2011, I went outside about 10 o'clock one night to go to the bathroom.
They don't either, Jeremy. Trust me.
I was standing out there peeing in the front of my truck about 10 o'clock. And I can see that river bridge from my backyard.
Yeah.
And I looked at the river bridge, and there was a towboat going by that bridge, shining his light at my house.
Mm-hmm.
And see, we're protected by a levee. It's a levee that goes down both sides of the river, all the way from Memphis down to Vicksburg. And on the Louisiana side, it goes further than that. Arkansas, all of Arkansas. That towboat was above my house. That river, behind that levee. I went back in the house and got Kay and brought her out here, out in the backyard, and showed her that towboat. It wasn't the glow of his light over the levee. It was his light. He was actually shining his light down into the depth where I live. And so we are loving this low water.
Mm-hmm. So you can keep it.
Yeah, we have. We've been lucky the last few years. We've had 5 high water events, and Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm.
That levee just can't hold but so long. Levees don't do but 2 things. One of them is hold water, and the other is break.
Mm-hmm. Like we can come and chat. Southern Ground.
Yeah.
Let's tell everybody hello.
Hey,
and
pork chop.
show support to Tennessee.
Southern Song. That's the first time I've seen that. Is that a man or a woman?
It's a lady.
Lady?
Yeah. Then Chad Nicholson. And Pork Chop's in here. And Danimal,
Hey,
he
Pork
coming
Chop.
in.
Pork chop.
Yeah.
Everett.
I was on Pork Chop show the other night before I had my surgery.
I ain't seen Pork Chop show. I must have missed it.
Yeah, what happened to Van?
He usually does that when he backs out, don't he? He just usually closes out.
Well, he's down there asking what
I
happened.
didn't do anything to Van. He just turned his camera off and then he was gone. Because if I'd done something to him, I'd be giggling and laughing about it.
Hmm.
That would be me. But looks like a lot of people's got the water drop. But yeah, I plan on going to Cumberland quite a bit now. Because like I said, it's a lot better road than what I drive on. I drive on the old 2-lane road that ain't got no shoulders or anything. So if I had a flat, I couldn't even pull over.
Well, what if is it private to tell me what town you live in Tennessee?
I live in Scott County, Tennessee. Live in Robbins. Live in the mountains.
Where is that from? Jackson, Tennessee.
Jackson, is that Nashville or Memphis?
It's over toward Memphis.
It's about 6-7 hours away.
So you live in
Tennessee that big?
Do what?
You live in
I said, is
East
Tennessee that big?
I live in East Tennessee. I almost live in Kentucky. I know what you're talking about because the casinos. Are you close to Memphis or Graceland? And the casinos across the road in the Mississippi.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm 3.5 hours south of Memphis.
Okay.
I'm just, I was just trying to think of where you would go to the Cumberland River. That's
So the Cumberland's up towards where I'm at.
okay.
It's
Dude 3 said you kicked him out. He was looking up something. You kicked him out.
I never touched the phone. You wouldn't see me doing this. Come on
No.
back here, Van. I never got rid of you.
I was looking for some names of the town, and you kicked me out.
Like I said, I'd be laughing and bragging about it if I did it. But no, I did not. It was an accident. I don't know. He had to done it. Whiskers and snaps right through my area to the Watts Bar. Crooked roads was quicker than I-75. Yep.
Well, Watts Bar and all that's not that killing far from up the river from Chattanooga.
It's over an hour.
Yeah, about it. Yeah.
Fort Loudon's an hour and a half on down from Chattanooga, and Watts Bar, I guess, about an hour and 15 minutes.
Well, do you have to go south to go to the Tennessee River or north? When you
I
leave,
tell you, you're good medicine.
If I was to drive, I would drive down to Chattanooga.
you drive south then.
Yeah.
You live north of Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Well,
Jody, you're some good medicine. I got finger movement here.
Woohoo!
Singing.
Mm-hmm.
you'll be baiting that bacon up in no time.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Southern Stone and Grown. You're from Knoxville, ain't you? Maybe. I plan on going to Chattanooga summer fishing also, but I have a single axle trailer and I don't like driving that far. First time we took it out, we had a blowout on the interstate, so it's kind of made me a little leery of driving. I'd feel much more comfortable if I had a double axle.
Yeah, well, you might need to be looking at investing in that.
Mm-hmm. And my trailer motor tore up too. I got to get a new one of those.
Oh Lord.
Yep. Which I just had a cheap one. I didn't have the big fancy one.
When I bought my boat, I ordered it. And when they brought it and they were finishing it up at the dealers, I went up there with the dealer to pick it up at the factory. He brought it back to his dealership and was putting the depth finders and this and that and other on it. And I asked him what had this big trolling motor and all that up there. And I said, look, what do you give me for that trolling motor?
Yeah.
because I didn't want a trolling motor. I mean, it was in the way for anchor fishing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at his book and he said, "Oh, I don't know. Why don't you just let me try to sell it?" I said, "All right, well, take it off." Because it came from the factory with that thing up there, and he was undone. And this fellow walked in the dealership and walked around looking. He took that trolling motor off and set it down, and the man says, "What are you gonna do with that trolling motor?" He said, "I'm gonna sell it." He said, "What you got to have on that for?" And the dealer turned around and looked at me and said, he had already told me what it was worth.
Yeah.
And I forget $400 and some dollars. I said, "I'll take $300, $100 bills for it." He said, "If y'all give me 20 minutes, I'll be right back."
Mm-hmm.
He shot out that door and he came back with three $100 bills.
No.
And I gave it to the dealer and told him that you know, we did it, knocked it off. But I didn't need a trolling motor. I don't use a trolling motor. I never used a trolling motor. Didn't want it. It was in my way.
No, Jeremy, I can't use right now my move my ring finger or my middle finger.
No.
Jody's getting a little movement out of the one finger.
Mm-hmm. So there's on the ground. Yeah, I don't care to go fishing. I'm supposed to take calls out. I've never done that yet, but we could all get together and do it. I plan on doing some bank fishing, but with the water drop, I've been fishing off docks. I can't even hardly get casted out of the bank into the water. So we'll wait till the bite is back good, probably about March.
You talking to me, Van?
So add me on Facebook and make sure you tell me who you are.
I think it is Clarksville. Because it's about, I don't know, it's 6-7 hours from me, 5 or 6 hours from me. I never would go up there and fish with those guys. They met every February and fished at Cheatham Dam. That's all I can remember. And they called it Monster Blue.
Mm-hmm. Clarksville's about 4 hours away from me. My sister, her husband used to be at Fort Campbell Station there. He's in the military. I used to go there quite a bit.
Well, heck, I've been to Clarksville. I was it's right there close to Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there, but I didn't know Cheatham Dam was right in there. Maybe I'm confused.
And Dan, no, I cannot fish worth the lick off the bank. I never want to fish off the bank again.
It's tough, ain't it, Jody?
I've been like 3 days, and it's just been awful. You have to pack all that stuff back and forth, and I hated it.
Well, I got my packing down. I went and bought me a wagon, then I bought me a backpack.
I didn't do anything. I would have got my shark out and had it going. Can't hear you.
I went over and was looking for that dam because I knew I'd heard it before, and I was like, "I'll find it." I looked it up on Google, and I was sitting there, and I could hear you in the playing in the background. Then all of a sudden, it went silent. I was like, "That little sharky, she done kicked me." And then I jumped back, and then it showed me backstage, and you were sitting there giggling. I did a chat. I'm like, "It's dark down here. I'm scared."
Yeah.
So Cheatham Dam is at Clarksville.
I'll give you the shark.
And Clarksville is where Fort Campbell is. Yeah, because I went right by Fort Campbell when I went to Hopkinsville, Kentucky. I didn't know I was that close to Cheatham Dam.
Yeah.
No, Jody, when I asked you earlier about Mike, because I hadn't seen him on live stream at night, because I've been up at night trying to find something to watch because I can't sleep. And I was like, well, I haven't seen him on. And then I knew those, they got tornadoes kind of back in that direction. And so that's why I asked you.
Mike lost his phone. He said he dropped it in the pool, maybe. So that's why he's not been on. He's had to wait till he gets a phone. But maybe next week he'll be able to start coming back on, maybe?
Well, he's working a lot, isn't he, Jody?
Yeah, he's working a lot. And, you know, staying up and working, that's a lot on him. So he needed a break. So.
Yeah, he's working pretty regular.
Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah,
give it
whatever.
to you bank fishermen. I mean, these are tough.
Yeah, whatever job they're on now, the weather's not stopping them like whatever they had been on.
Mm-hmm.
There a couple months ago, if it sprinkled, they were calling. He was off work.
Let's see what his message did say. Make sure I ain't misquoting them.
No, listen, Mike is just busy. He's working a lot of hours.
Mm-hmm. He lost his phone's what he told me.
Oh. Okay,
I
well,
believe he dropped it in the toilet.
He's a cook at some restaurant though, isn't he?
Yeah. He lost his phone to the porcelain, I guess.
Porcelain god.
Yeah. But
I'm thinking I was wrong. I'm thinking
he
the
got
wrong Mike.
his phone, but he's too busy at work to fully update it right away. I'll try possibly, but just wanted to give a heads up if he wasn't doing it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm thinking of Big Mike.
No, this was Mike Surratt. Mike's
Fishing home.
Yeah.
I wonder if Mike Surratt is any kin to the folks that killed President Lincoln.
Howdy.
What's up,
Hello.
Dan?
I'm just going to pop up for a minute. And Jody, I just figured I'd tell you the struggle is real from the bank.
Mm-hmm, I know.
I can testify to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dan, I used to think you couldn't fish worth a lick, but I done found out that fishing from the bank ain't nobody fish worth a lick.
Yeah. Hey, just watch.
Fish on the Potomac, you can't catch fish from the bank.
Just watch my lives. You'll see the struggle. There ain't very many fish caught in my lives.
None caught in mine.
Caught nobody's lives.
Just a lot of good conversation. That's about it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the towboats going up and down the Mississippi River, I don't know what would happen on my lives. I probably start drinking beer.
No.
Eating cupcakes, zebra cakes.
I ate my first zebra cake last week.
No,
You know,
Jim.
the Little Debbie plant, they're made here in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about 30 minutes down the road from me, and they've got like a discount store where they sell everything like half price.
We got them too. Actually, yeah, I think we got. Yeah, I don't know what it is. We had either Little Debbie or Rainbow stores like that. But
Yeah,
Rainbow's no more. Now it's like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's, yeah. It used to be Rainbow Factory here in the city. And now I can't remember, like I said, I can't remember the name, but you drive by it and it smells so good.
the Little Debbie plant never smelled good because it was right there in the city I was a cop in. We'd have people get hurt in there, get trapped in a machine. They would make the fire department and the cops sit outside until maintenance went and got the person out of the machine because they didn't want anybody to see their magic secret ingredients or machines or how it was made.
Yeah. Now,
Well,
it's the one we got. It's just, it's not Rainbow anymore. Now it's owned by a company by the name of Bimbo. It's Bimbo bread.
Yeah, we get Bimbo bread here at Walmart.
All it is the bread factory. So it smells great. But then you drive 15 minutes north and there's the Purina dog food plant, and that sucks.
Mm.
I used to, when I grew up in Fort Worth, there was the Mrs. Baird's bread factory, and you drive by there like at 3 a.m. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
we've got the Jiffy peanut butter plant in Lexington, and I live about 10 miles north of Lexington, and it depends on the way the wind blows. You can stand at my front door when the wind blows out of the south and sit there and smell that peanut butter factory.
Yeah. Now, hell, you'd be driving up I-235 and you'd be right there, shoot, half mile either, depending on which ways the wind's blowing. I mean, you smell it and you're like, and I don't eat a lot of bread, but man, I drive by there and I'm like, I want some bread.
Well, we had a Wonder Bread plant. We had a Wonder Bread plant in town about 15 miles from where I grew up. And on Sunday nights, We would go up there. You could go in the back door of that Wonder Bread plant, and they would sell you a hot loaf of bread right off of the line for 50. I think it was 50 cents, not sliced. It wasn't even sliced. They put it in a brown sack. Now, I don't know if they're supposed to be selling that bread like that, but we go up there and buy 4 or 5 loaves of bread, and we carry a thing of butter with us. And you talking about good now.
What is it?
Well, I remember when I was working at the school, you always knew when the lunch ladies were cooking rolls. You could
Right.
smell them through the school, and I'd always go in there and get a hot roll before lunch.
Mm-hmm.
If they'd charge me like a nickel.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this just for Jeremy. I see Jeremy. He finally figured out he can't pull it off, so he's got the baby face going on. But this how you grow a beard, Jeremy, and a mustache.
Yeah, he said you had a beard when you first popped up there. I saw his little comment.
I know he's jealous. And yeah, Jeremy, I've been growing this for about a month now.
Well, Jody and I are the only ones that don't have a beard.
Yep.
Hey, give her 2 weeks.
I got a Snapchat filter that gives me one. But nope, no beard for me.
Nope. Becca came into one of Lee's lives the one day and had some kind of
I think that.
thing, and she looked at him. She goes, "Yeah, I got to shave this off every morning." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Girl."
I remember.
Looks
I
like a
remember that
picture
one.
on her face.
And she kept that thing on all morning.
Mm-hmm.
Through the entire show.
Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy. See, there's a difference there. I can't do nothing about your Joe Dirt DNA, but I can catch fish, and I can be shown how to do that.
Hey, Mr. Duggar.
Hey, Doug.
Oh,
What's
we're
up?
transferring to the Nextly plant.
What's up, Duggar?
Doug used to work on towboats.
Now
Yeah,
see if I
got
can.
an actual plant in summer in Mount Sterling, and they've got one of them little stores, and you can buy lasagna, all kinds of stuff in there.
Now see, I'd rather stay here in Oklahoma City and drive by that bimbo plant than go down south to the the Michelin plant. Go smell burnt rubber.
Paper mills, man, that's what I hate.
No, you want to smell something bad? Go to a chicken plant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've driven past. I've ridden actually when I go to Arkansas for Bikes, Booze, and Barbecue. We ride past so many chicken houses out there, and it stinks.
Hey, that's where I live, man. Come on.
No.
So you come to Fayetteville for BBQ?
Yep.
I'm about 30 minutes away from there.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Look like I live in the chicken capital of the world, chicken killing capital of the world.
Yeah, I've hauled them. I have never hauled live ones, but I've hauled processed chicken out.
Whoa.
And reapers, and that.
That's the thing here. We have more chicken plants, processing plants, and we got Tyson. We got.
Cinnamon.
Oh yeah. Y'all got some dead chickens up there.
Hey Jody, you got to highlight Southern Sewn and Grown, because if she's got leg hair like that, she got enough leg hair to give Jeremy a real mustache.
That's okay.
Catching fish in my leg hairs, yeah. She shaved her head with a McCulloch chainsaw. Is that what she said?
She said something about catching a fish in her leg hairs. That's scary.
Hey man, y'all talking about all of them chickens.
Jeremy, I'll send you some bacon.
When I was a senior in high school, we were playing for the North State baseball championship.
They had baseball back then?
We had to travel over in the hills, and there's a town over there, and the railroad Amtrak is on that track now. So it was a heavily used railroad, and it runs across the highway there, and it's a chicken truck had hit that train. Now, the train didn't hit the chicken truck. The chicken truck hit the train. And that must have been 10,000 white chickens running off. And people were out chasing them damn chickens. And they was coming back up on the highway, and they'd have one or two in each hand. You know how chickens do when you got them by the legs. And they were throwing them in their cars and turning their cars around and headed back down the highway. They were getting those chickens, man. And they were sitting on the trains. They were sitting in trees. They were sitting everywhere and running. There must have been 10,000 chickens on that truck.
Oh yeah, that's probably close to it.
And we don't know what happened. I guess the brakes went out on that truck, and he ran into the side of that moving train, and it just tore all them little cages apart, and there was chickens everywhere.
How many chickens did you go get?
We were trying to go play baseball, and man, we didn't worry about it. We never got out of the vehicle. But
I think chat's has more going on than we got going on live stream.
But we watched them chasing them.
Hey,
just some fun and games.
Southern, you got to watch those comments around Jeremy. If he wasn't married, he'd be jumping on that. He likes them hairy legs.
Yeah, that's nasty. That's their razor.
Yeah.
You will be. You keep talking like that.
No.
Should be in trouble.
Shave the legs, girl.
Yeah.
No, worst one that I ever saw wasn't chickens. It was pigs.
Oh, God.
And they had one just outside of Louisville turned over. And I think that when they had posted in the newspaper, there was 218 pigs that had got loose.
Oh Lord!
And when we drove by it, they had brought out those orange construction fence and took the median. There was people running over. They were little ones. They probably weren't no more than 20, 30 pounds.
The little shorts.
They was over and they was picking them up, throwing them over, and pitching them in it, and they had the grass median, and they had it blocked off with the orange construction fence.
Yeah.
Tied up and had made a little corral and had pictures of it in the paper.
I never seen any kind of cattle or any kind of crashes like that, but I was driving down I-40 through Oklahoma City one time, and all I could smell was cow shit. It was horrible. And I'm going and I'm driving, and it never registered, and I'm seeing this streak right down the middle of the road, right down the middle of the lane for miles. And then finally I come up on a cattle truck, and it's just got a stream flowing out of the back of it. And I was like, oh my God, I got to hurry up and get past this thing. And
nobody ever know it. There's two things a cattle truck will do. One, if you get younger ones, they'll get the runs in it. But what a lot of cattle trucks, it's a trick. It's a little thing they do is instead of, if they're not going to be able to get to a washout, they can close the drains on them trailers, and they'll fill that belly with all that cow crap. They'll pull into a truck stop, and most of the truck stops have a water faucet. You can just turn the water hose on. They'll throw that while they're filling up with fuel. They'll throw that water hose, one or two of them, over in that trailer with it empty, and turn it on.
Yeah.
Well, as they go down the road, they'll run 100, 200 miles and let it slosh around and get it broke up.
Yeah.
Then they'll pull over on the side of the road. You ever see a cattle trailer and he's reaching over and jerking on something? He's opening them slots in the back of that trailer.
Yeah.
And then he'll take off again. And what he's doing is letting it run out the back.
Right.
I don't know. Those are the truck drivers that need to get their license revoked and fired.
I had a cousin used to haul cows all over the United States. I never seen it done, but I know what they do.
No, that's why, I mean, you never see a cattle truck stop unless you're, off in the middle of nowhere where they got one of those cattle runs that they can stop and let them out for a bit. But you still never see them there either.
No, it's the longer the most drivers you're responsible for that thing, and you're one man to deal with however many head you got on that trailer, and a lot of those are double stacked. You got an upper and a lower floor.
What's up, Lynn? JBT.
You can't turn them loose, and that's the reason when they went to the double stacks. That's the reason a lot of them don't fool with it, because you can't unload that trailer and corral them by yourself unless you've got a couple buddies with you and y'all can do one truck at a time. And also when you get into your delivery, whatever they're paying you, however many animals you have dead on that trailer, you pay for out of what that load's paying.
Yeah.
That's the reason they don't stop.
We had another one come in.
Lynn says he does it all the time in California.
Yeah, I
I
did it one time, and I'll never haul another cattle trailer again.
I'll stick with operating heavy equipment and cranes and leave the truck driving up to you guys.
Hey, Big Mike.
That's Big Mike.
What's up, Big Mike?
No, I've hauled flatbed. That's what I love doing.
On a float.
Riding a skateboard.
So, what's the word on Freddie shaving that beard? When's that happening?
He's not gonna shave.
Oh man, he's
They're
welcome.
gonna let him. He's just gonna trim it up.
Brian left him in his good graces, huh?
Well,
Yeah, he did a video earlier because he got the Uncle Lou rod from J Dog delivered to him after the tournament. Mailman brought it. And he was almost in tears, and he said that Brian and him taught Brian, since what the beard meant to him, he's just gonna trim it up a bit and everything. But he might shave it, but
I told him not to keep it. He'd grown it in his dad's memory.
Yeah.
Brian was going to tell him at the end of the tournament he didn't have to cut it. He knew what he was growing it for, and
a lot of them thought at the end of the tournament that Freddie was joking when he was turning away from the phone, and he wasn't. He admitted it during the Angerholics thing. He goes, I was. He goes, he was.
Yeah. He was tearing up.
Well, I mean,
he was gonna shave it in January anyway, though, wasn't he? I mean,
yeah, he wasn't gonna do it because he started growing it January 4th when his dad died.
Dad passed.
Yeah,
and
he was to shave it. If he lost and was going to shave it, he wasn't going to shave it to January 4th. So
how many years he been growing it?
Just a year.
That's only 1 year of beard. Holy hell!
He's a real man.
I mean, that's a big beard for a year.
Well, no kidding. I mean, longest I grown mine out was like 5 months without touching it, and it wasn't anywhere near that.
Everybody knows him from his beard, and I got a problem with him keeping it. It was a bet, but he was told he had to honor it, and he was growing for his dad. So,
well, it's quite a beard, and it fits him well. So,
and Freddie would have, and that's the thing is he knows Freddie would have honored it.
Freddie was going to, and he told him he didn't have to. So that's between them.
Yeah, Jeremy, I know what you mean, man. It's just been a year and a month since my mom, so I know how you feel.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, I'm 74 years old. My dad's still alive.
That's good. Take him out for coffee.
I don't get to see him. He lives in Spokane, Washington.
Oh, yeah, that's a ways.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have. Well, you could. You teach him how to use YouTube. Y'all can do it over.
He won't. He doesn't even watch TV.
Dang.
He's a World War II Marine, and he got just a very few friends that live close by him out there. Him and his wife, and he just he don't watch the news. He doesn't do Facebook. He don't even have a cell phone.
Does he live on his own, or does he live in an assisted home, or what?
He and his wife have a nice place out there.
No. Got to get somebody out there that at least has a little technology, so y'all could do some video chats. And
He doesn't. He you know,
He's making cats.
he doesn't go for all that. We had that.
No.
We had that 20 years ago.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
he's he's completely disappointed in the whole United States of America, and he just waiting his time out. Basically, what he done.
Same person, Tinkerbell. I changed it from Dan's to Danimal quite a while back, and that was just because Catfish Heroes, Sean, Epic's buddy, kind of gave me the nickname, so I thought I'd change it, and I kind of like it, so I'm keeping it that way.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different, but yeah. So yeah, I had to miss a lot of the tournament today, or the one-on-one today, because I took Dom to the science museum, and God, that boy run me ragged in there.
How old is he now?
He just turned 5.
Yeah, to say I knew he had a birthday here a little bit, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember how old. Because my oldest grandson is 4, and we took him to the zoo back during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I needed about 4 monsters and about 3 cups of coffee, and
oh yeah,
and then I decided I wanted an easy go so I could keep up with him. I was tired of running.
Yeah, 2 weekends ago when I had him, we took him to the zoo. They got the Christmas lights out there.
Hey, Chester.
They got it where you can drive through and you can walk through. If you do the drive through, they give you tickets to do the walk through. So we did that, and boy, he run us around like crazy.
Yeah,
But
my girlfriend's got an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. They're a handful.
Oh yeah. Well, his siblings, his brother just turned 15 a couple days ago, and his sister turned 14 last month. So, I had my hands full when me and his mom were together. But yeah, I wouldn't change anything for the world when it comes to him. So,
Now, you got a job now. Is it panning out good for you?
It's been the contractor, and it's on Air Force Base, so having to deal with the contractor and the Air Force Base.
Yeah.
We were starting on another hangar, and the scaffold builders were out there almost done with the scaffolding so we could get started, and then all of a sudden they were like, hey, we got to take this plane out of the hangar and put another one in. So they had to tear down all the scaffolding, swap planes, and then build it again. But they were done, and I got to start yesterday, and then we got shut down because the ceiling. I don't know if anybody knows anything about, like, when it comes to flight, and they talk about like cloud cover and stuff. The ceiling, when the ceiling's down to like 900 feet, we got to shut down any crane work. So got one panel hung, and they shut us down. So we'll get back to it next week or this coming week.
Yeah, I've dealt with them back when I used to run flatbeds. We've got Avon and Bluegrass Army Depot, and I've hauled stuff out of both of them. And when I had my own truck, I pulled for Landstar, pulling some military like containers on flats. Never knew what you were hauling.
I bet they did.
No, they did.
I bet they'd be pissed when you'd end up dropping off the Avon stuff at the Army Depot.
Oh no, you don't go. I hauled a couple of them before I had a military armed escort.
Yeah.
Didn't tell me what was in it, and the only thing I could do was fuel the truck.
Banking.
And I had to give them an hour's notice that I needed to stop and go to the bathroom.
Oh hell.
They took your truck when you got there. They took your truck in, left you
I
there,
was
and got your
in
truck
truck.
all back shiny and clean, didn't they?
No,
They used to do that. They would
no.
escort your truck. That you give them the keys. They take it in, unload it, wash it, and bring it back to you.
Nah, if they look at me and tell me they taking the keys to my truck, I'm gonna tell them y'all bring a crane out here and take it off right here because you ain't driving my truck.
Congrats on the 2-year-old on the birthday, JR.
Exactly. Congrats. It is a busy month, December.
Yeah.
Especially if you got birthdays in it too.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Well,
them loads paid well, but they didn't pay well enough to replace my truck.
yeah, Van, if I got to have a mechanic come out and look at the crane for something, they might come out of the city that's only 20 minutes away, but they got to go to the truck entrance, and they might sit there. One day, mechanic came out, and he had to sit there for about 2 hours at the gate before they ever got him in.
Not with
Not whiskers.
Not
I
whiskers.
sit at Norfolk, Norfolk Naval Station. I sit outside their gate for 2 days waiting to get in one time
Oh, hell.
because the guy, whoever it was that was supposed to push the paperwork through to tell them when I was going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
so I went UA or something and never did it. So they didn't know when I was going to be there, and when I got there, they're like, "We have no record of what you got, where it's going, or what." Like,
Oh,
so I
hell.
told Landstar, I said, "This is costing y'all." I said, "This is $500 a day for me to sit here."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I was on an offload crew on a wind farm, and if we had trucks show up before a certain time and we didn't get them unloaded that day, and they had to wait, they were getting paid I think it was like $1,600 wait time just for sitting to get unloaded the next day.
yeah, I know they went up, but I didn't. But like I said, that was back in 99, 96, no, 98, 99, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, all depends on the type of job and what you're hauling too. But
Yeah, I wouldn't do them again. I'd haul groceries before I did that, and that's a pain in the butt on its own.
and you were hauling what back then?
It was containers,
Oh yeah.
lock seal containers. I've hauled a few of the tanks. There's a bunch of them running up here now. It's actually a tank. It's a shell,
Mm-hmm.
a rusted shell, but it's a brand new tank.
Right.
But it's never had paint on it, never had anything. You over and get it loaded on a drop deck. You haul it up there to the base, your one base to another, and it'll get thrown on a truck, get hauled out to a local manufacturer. They'll either paint it, install whatever on it, whatever.
Right.
I've done those. The biggest thing I ever hauled was an impeller for a destroyer.
Nice.
Y'all, I got
You got a question on the chat.
I would check Facebook Marketplace. That's where I found my
Oh.
boat. That's exactly where I would go.
Yeah, that's where we've been looking at for center console boats.
Craigslist.
Hey,
Depends on
there's
where you're at.
Becca. Hi, Becca. Thanks for the email.
Hey, y'all, I got to go to bed. I'll see y'all later here.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Steve.
Good night.
hi, Becca.
Hi,
Chester.
Becca.
Hi,
Chester,
Becca.
where you at?
I answered my girlfriend answered your email today. I couldn't quite type, but thanks for the email. It was really sweet.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop down too. It's
I think
1:20.
fixing to close probably right at 2:30.
You said that 45 minutes ago.
That's supposed to close at 2.
Actually, you said it was 50 minutes ago. You were like, "Yep, I'm
Yeah,
close."
Becca, come on, Chess. Time to close the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop back down in the chat.
To the front of the stores.
Thanks for having me up, Van, Jody, Jim. Good talking to y'all.
Yeah.
I'd wave back, but yeah, can't quite
Mm.
wave.
Yeah, you're losing your personal time now.
Who, me?
No, Jim,
Mm.
with that hand.
Yeah, he's in La La Land.
Yeah.
I'll
He's
talk to
seen
y'all
little
for a few more in chat.
He's seen little pink elephants and purple butterflies.
Purple butterflies. He only gave me 29 pills.
Only 29 pills.
Only 29 pills.
Mhm.
They got to last me till next week. But I've been doing good on them.
Yeah, we're leaving at 2:30, Lance. A bit even time.
Yeah,
I like even numbers.
I can't do the pills at all. I'll be in more pain than I would be if I took them.
They make me itch.
They make me pray.
You make
They
you
make me
pray?
go straight in there and pray to the porcelain god.
No. I
Me
just
and Ralph
don't
have
want pain
rather
pills.
lengthy conversations when I take pain medication.
Yeah.
Because this time last year I had, let's see, the Monday after Thanksgiving last year I had kidney stone. They gave me a shot and a pill. I got home. I spent the next 6 hours praying.
Yeah.
And then the Monday after Christmas last year, I come down with a second kidney stone.
Mm-hmm.
And they went in there and they gave me morphine in a shot, Dilaudid, and something else.
Yeah.
And when I came home, I felt great. 20 minutes after I got home, I spent the next 6 hours in there praying to the porcelain god.
I don't know. When I had COVID, I went in with double pneumonia, and they gave me morphine to settle me down. It didn't phase it. And then they gave me some Dilaudid, and I went to heaven. I was feeling good.
The morphine shot I can handle. It don't make me sick. But the Dilaudid pills, if it hits my stomach, I'm gonna give it back to you.
Yeah.
Lortab. That's what they gave me. It was a Lortab, a Dilaudid, and a shot of morphine.
Becca, didn't you send me an email?
Remember, he's on pain meds.
I thought it was, I have to be looking back at my phone, but I could have sworn Becca sent me, and it was from Becca. And then we responded back.
Did it have any knock jokes in it?
No, it's a knock joke. They hadn't seen me on YouTube.
Oh. Howdy Fishing the Dream. Know who that is.
Sandy walked around here for 2 days after that. We walked through the house. Knock, knock. Shut up.
Fishing inches high.
Good thing about the boat is it's already loaded, ready to go. It's got to pack whatever clothes I'm gonna wear. I'll probably pack extra clothes in case I have to get up there and get in the water. Extra shoes.
What are you gonna get in the water for?
I may have to get in the water to unload the boat. I'm gonna try my best not to.
I'll go down there to Cabela's. I'll bring you something. Take care of that.
I've got 150 foot of rope. I'm gonna use that. Those 10
No,
minutes.
I'm gonna buy you one of them. I'm gonna go buy you some waders. Little pink waders.
Hey, Fishing Dream.
I don't do pink. But thank you. Pink's a little too girly for me.
I'll go get little shark stickers and stick all over it.
Yeah.
Well, gee Whitakers, that wasn't Becca. I'll have to look again.
Yep. Well, you don't want to go ahead and close now? There's no sense in dragging it out 5 more minutes.
Well, come on. We be something interesting happening.
This is your dog and pony show. I don't care.
Stan could come up and join us. We'd go another 45. Stan be
I would let you just have it.
You could go to sleep like you did on that one tournament. Me and Stan will take over.
You mean I'll message Stan and tell him you want him to come here and tell the sturgeon story. That'll give us an hour.
Driving back from the fishing last night, I was live on John Oilers and I fell asleep.
Fell asleep driving home.
5 minutes, and
As soon as you came back on, I called you out on it.
when I woke up, I was like, "Where's my phone at?" And he's like, "It's in the floorboard."
Yeah, didn't you fell asleep on somebody's live chat, and then you put somebody in timeout for
that was Palmetto's tournament, the last one he had.
yeah. Because I was watching the live stream. He's like, "Whoops, Jody, Jody must have fell asleep again. Let me take her wrench away."
I did 2 people. I did Sandra and I did Steve Adams. So, yep. Brian rubbed it off on me. I think I rubbed it off on Brian. I was falling asleep where he started it. Well, let's go on and close out. I want to thank everybody for coming in and sitting around with us. I mostly just come live so people have a place to go. I know what it's like when you're up and ain't nothing to do.
And also, guys, if you see me on chat and I don't say hi to you, it's not because I can't hardly type very fast, so I text very quickly. So if I don't say hi back, it's nothing personal. It's easier to chat than type right now with this cast and fingers not working.
About like me trying to type going down the road.
Yep.
Yeah.
It don't work very well.
Mm-hmm.
I tried voice text, but with it picking up what's being played or what somebody else is saying, it's putting their chat in there too, so that don't work.
And you're slurring too, so that ain't helping any.
Oh, I slur all the time.
Yeah. Like Mark said, it's time to go to bed, everybody. But thank you for coming in.
Go to bed anyway.
Well, there's Mark. Mark's back now.
Trust me, he's not one to come back out.
No, he was wore out last night when he got off.
Yeah.
By bees.
Thank you, George. Sweet dreams. I'll see you all.
Later, Jody.
See y'all.